We're going to use the electric bikes as we've already discussed in the theory briefing. I showed you the charger there, which you'll carry around with you, how to actually operate the recharging unit when you get to your base. The main thing to remember about an electric bike is that without the power on, it operates exactly the same as any other bike. You have an 8-speed gear system at the back, which is operated by a finger and thumb system on here. Exactly the same as the normal bikes you ride with Headwater. You can see by turning and changing the gear how simple it is to operate without power. Now, because here you're going to descend down towards the canal path and ride along the predominantly flat area, I would advise you not to use the power until you get down there, because you're going through traffic and you'll have total control of the bike until you get used to it. And you can see it's quite simple to ride without the power on. When you get on the canal path or anywhere that's flat and safe, then you can start to use the power to give you that extra assistance. Remember that the bike is an electrical assist bike, and it's not about how fast you can get from A to B, it's how much assistance you'll need when you come to the hills. If you use the power at full volume all the time, or full power, sorry, all the time, then inevitably the battery is going to run down. Most of the time on flat, as I say, you can use the bike without the power. As soon as you do come to somewhere where it's slightly hilly, we can use 3 grades of power. Now, if you look closely at the box here, you can see there is a switch called a mode and the symbol for power. And to turn it on, we simply press and release the power switch. You will then see a series of lights light up to indicate how much power there is in there. So now give it a few seconds and then it goes empty, middle and full. All right? Now, to indicate how the power system works is this is automatically in the low power. As the pedal turns and passes the bottom bracket, you can see it operates the front wheel. Therefore, you're getting power not only from the pedal onto the back wheel, but also from the power onto the front wheel. As soon as you stop pedaling, the power will stop. So if you feel at any stage you're going a bit too quickly, just stop pedaling, and the friction on the front wheel will obviously stop the power. Of course, you use the brakes as well to control your speed in the normal fashion. So we're riding along, the hill gets even steeper, and we simply then use the mode button, this one here, to change from low to medium.
Okay, I got
and that will take you up quite steep hills.
Right.
So it's effectively like changing a gear as well.
Exactly. It's in lots of ways similar to your front chain wheel that you have on the normal Headwater bikes, in a sort of reverse way, because normally gear 3 on a chain wheel is for flat riding, big gear, and gear 1 is for low. This is sort of reverse, purely because it's on a power meter. Where if you're getting to a stage when the hill is even more steep, then again you press the mode and it will go up into the high. To come back to low, you simply press the mode again and it will revert to low. Now, there might be times when you're in power number 2 that you actually want to drop down to power number 1. You don't really want to go through power number 3 because the bike is going to go faster, so we simply stop pedaling and click it twice. And then you won't feel it going through into power 3.
Click mode twice.
Click mode twice. So once again, if you're in, say, medium and you want to go to low, you simply stop pedaling, click twice, and it will drop down to low.
So is that the same for all dropping of the mode? So every time you want to drop a mode, you double click?
Yes, if you need to come back down, yeah. It's only really when you're going from medium to low, because if you're in the low, it's 1 to medium and then 1 from medium to high. And if you click just once again, it will come down to low.
All right.
The idea of the double click when you're in medium is so that you don't have to go through the high power.
Right.
If you're getting to the top of a hill, there's no point.
Yeah.
If you do, it doesn't matter. It's just, you know, being aware, especially if you're in a town or something.
Yes.
But then ideally in a town, you would nearly always just be in the low mode or not even using the power. If you want to turn the power off, you've come to a hill, there's a long, long flat section, we simply press and hold the power button until all the lights go out. And then you'll see that you're back just with the rear gear. Whatever power mode you're in, don't forget still to use the gears at the back, because if you're in low power mode, you'll probably find it might be a little bit awkward. Just change down at the back and you might not need to use the second power mode. So you balance one against the other, because the more power you can save on here, obviously the better it is for you when you're getting on the longer distances. There is enough power on low mode to go in the region of 95 to 100 kilometres, but obviously if you're in power 2 or power 3, then that is going to reduce. So you use it only when you need to. The other aspect of it is when the power is on occasions you'll be, say, in a small town or somewhere where you have to stop on a hill inadvertently. Now, because the power doesn't kick in until the pedal does a full turn, it means if you're starting on a hill, it's going to be quite awkward to get going. Not with these bikes. We have a green button here, all right, so that when you're sitting on a hill waiting for traffic or lights or whatever, foot obviously on both pedals, all you simply have to do is to press that button and it will give you a power spurt. All right, just enough for you to get the pedals turning. So just press and hold it for a second and the bike will then allow you to get going. All right, we can try that outside shortly, even on the flat, it will give you the impression of what it does. Whenever you stop, make certain that you turn off the power, okay, by pressing and holding for a second or two. If you're stopping to have a quick drink of water, it's not necessary, but if you're going to stop and go into a cafe or obviously have a picnic or something, turn the power mode off because inevitably it will start to drain the battery. Okay. Once you get to the hotel, or if you're stopping for a long time, remember, as I said earlier, when you turn the power on, is make certain we turn it off here, which is a straightforward up and down switch. To remove the battery, we simply unlock and pull the battery out. All right, which you then take to your room. Your charger will be left there with your baggage, okay, and you take this to your room and it's a simple case of lifting the cover at the back there, putting the normal jack plug in and plugging it in. You'll find, sorry.
This key just locks the battery in place.
It locks the battery in place. Obviously make certain you take your key with you and keep it safe, because if you lose your key you can't put the battery on or out. It prevents or helps to prevent theft, because there's not much point taking an electric bike if there's no battery. They cannot, if it was stolen, nobody can just get a battery to fit it. They have to have the whole system in here changed, and they have to actually contact a company through a code number to be able to buy a battery. So it does make them fairly safe in terms of that goes. When you're in your room and you've plugged it in, remember to leave it off while it's charging. When you want to check, you simply put the power button on and press the light switch at the back there, and when you've got 3 blues, it means obviously it's 100% charged. The red, ignore the red, it's just an indication that it's working. All right, so we simply just press that to make certain it's fully charged. You'll find, I think it takes right 3 hours to charge the battery, okay? In the morning, or if you're going off again, you simply slot, having of course unlocked it, because it would be unlocked anyway, simply slot the battery in, lock it, take the key out, which you put securely somewhere, and then obviously that is perfectly safe while you're on the road. Okay, and you only need the key really when you get to the base hotel.